What's up, Falcons Nation? It's your boy Jew coming at you with another Atlanta Falcons video. As always, Falcons Nation, rise up. In today's video, I would like to talk about Coach Raheem Morris. But if you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you'll know when I've done Atlanta Falcons content. Hit that like button for your boy. I do appreciate each and every one of you guys for your continued support. If you'd like to follow your boy on Twitter and Instagram, you can follow me at Jew Talk Sports. If you'd like to donate to my channel, you can donate to my Cash App, which is the $ Jew Talk Sports. And if you'd like to be a part of my Jew Talk Sports membership, you can hit that join tab here on the channel as well. But with that being said, let's jump right into the video. So today's video, I do want to talk about head coach Raheem Morris. And was Raheem Morris the correct pick for the Atlanta Falcons to fill this head coaching position? After giving it 24 hours, sitting back, thinking about it, I definitely think that Raheem Morris was the correct pick for the Atlanta Falcons head coach position. It has been so many players, former players, coaches, GMs that have come out and said nothing but good things about Raheem Morris since he's got hired by the Atlanta Falcons as the next head coach. And I definitely think, as I mentioned, that this was the right decision for the Atlanta Falcons for a multitude of reasons. Guys like Mike Tomlin, who has never had a losing season in the NFL, the head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers, is really close friends with Raheem Morris, stated that Raheem Morris is one of the smartest football minds that he's ever been around. Guys like Jalen Ramsey, who he coached with the LA Rams, who's a great cornerback. Now he plays with the Miami Dolphins, said nothing but good things about Raheem Morris. Guys like Andrew Whitworth, who played in the league and now retired, played with the LA Rams, played with the Cincinnati Bengals, also had nothing but good things to say about Raheem Morris. GMs, the GM for the Rams, Les Snead, had nothing but good things to say about Raheem Morris as well. Guys like Dan Quinn, they reached out to a multitude of Atlanta Falcons players, guys like Roddy White, guys like Robert Alford, who was on that 2016 team, guys like Grady Jarrett. Pretty much everybody has had nothing but great things to say about Raheem Morris getting this opportunity to be the head coach of our Atlanta Falcons. And like I said, I do think that this was the right move to bring him back. Raheem Morris, from what everybody is stating, is a really genuine person. He's one of those guys that is a very good and smart football mind, has coached on both the offensive side and the defensive side of the ball in multiple franchises and with multiple franchises. He is one of those guys that has paid his dues and worked his way up from the ground up. And he's been in the league for over 20 years. He started in the NFL back in 2002. It's now 2024. And I definitely think that it's his time to shine. Another reason why I think that this was the right decision for our Atlanta Falcons is you guys know that the NFL has really been tough to get minority coaches to be able to fill these positions in the NFL. We know that there was only one minority head coach last season, and now there were already 4 different minority coaches that's been hired in this cycle of coaching opening. So I definitely think that if you want to go somewhere you've never been before, like a Super Bowl with the Atlanta Falcons, you have to do things that you've never done before. And I believe hiring Raheem Morris was a good move. Seeing guys like Antonio Pierce get hired by the Las Vegas Raiders, I really feel like Raheem Morris and Antonio Pierce, both of those guys are similar in that they're a leader of men. I think that the greatest talent that those guys have as coaches, or their greatest ability, is for those guys that they can communicate really well and that they're a leader of men. They're CEOs. They know, how to put players in positions to succeed, but they understand how to create genuine relationships with their players. I really feel like that's what got Antonio Pierce hired as the Las Vegas Raiders head coach. And I feel like that's the reason that the Falcons brought back Raheem Morris, is because he's created great relationships, not only with the front office with our Atlanta Falcons, but every single player that they've talked to, former Falcons, former Rams, former Tampa Bay Buccaneers players, anybody that's come in contact with Raheem Morris, they had nothing but glowing things to say about him, as him being a leader of men, him being a real dude. So I really think that Raheem Morris will have a lot of success with the Atlanta Falcons. As I mentioned, he has a ton of experience, been in the league almost 20 years at this point, or over 20 years at this point. So I definitely think that he's going to be able to bring some knowledge to this Atlanta Falcons team. They talked about him being one of those guys that demands perfection. That's something that Robert Alford talked about, former Atlanta Falcons cornerback. And I definitely think that Raheem Morris will be one of those guys, like I mentioned, that will bring that football knowledge both on the offensive side and defensive side of the ball. I really think that he'll be able to bring in a good coaching staff as far as offensive coordinators and defensive coordinators, because he's created those relationships and he's been involved with multiple franchises in the NFL, which I think also bodes well for him. I don't believe it's going to be hard for him to go out and find the right guys to fill this coaching staff. Also, as I mentioned, the athletes of today are different. You have to communicate to these guys differently than you did in years past. And being that the NFL, is a young movement where you have a lot of young players on this Atlanta Falcons team, guys like Kyle Pitts, guys like Drake London, guys like Bijan Robinson. You need a head coach that can create those relationships, can communicate to those guys, and get these guys, galvanize these guys. And I really think that Raheem Morris will be able to motivate these young men. He'll be able to galvanize these young men to all play for one cause, and that's to win a Super Bowl or win a championship. And I really feel like he gives us an opportunity to definitely do something that we've never done before. So with that being said, I do think that Raheem Morris was the right move for the Atlanta Falcons, not just because he's an African American, but because he's one of those guys that, one, will be able to relate to the players. Two, he has a lot of knowledge both on the offensive side and the defensive side of the ball. Three, he knows how to empower other coaches up under him to put those guys in positions to succeed. And he's worked with guys like Sean McVay. Four, he's won a Super Bowl. So he understands the ins and outs of how to get there. He has 2 Super Bowl rings, one with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers when he was really, really young, 2, his second ring with the LA Rams in 2021 when he was on Sean McVay's coaching staff. So he's done really, really good things on both the offensive side and defensive side of the ball. But with that being said, you guys give me your thoughts on Raheem Morris. Do you think that this was the right move for our Atlanta Falcons? I definitely think that this was a great move for this Atlanta Falcons organization. And I definitely think that we have a chance to do big things. So with that being said, this been your boy Jew. I have a lot more content coming for you guys. But as always, Falcons Nation, rise up, be blessed. Peace.